What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video today. Today we gonna talk about Jakob and the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors been blazing the NBA for the last couple years. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry have been showing out. Kyle Lowry took a step back. DeMar DeRozan averaged a career high 27 points a game, was unstoppable, unguardable, and he was hungry last year to prove himself, and he even got an All NBA team last year, something that he never accomplished in his career, and it looks like he's going to get another one this year. And he improved. He's more unselfish. But Jakob Poeltl is a guy that I made a summer league analysis on. That he plays like a veteran. He's seasoned as a young player. He has the right work ethic. He's smart. He has the length. He has the size. He has the body that's still developing. But he can bang with NBA players, something that I didn't really expect coming out the gate. But he is 230, which means he do have a lot of weight. I don't know if you want to gain more because you still want to be a little lateral, quick, and fast. Because as a rim protector, you want to cover as much space as you can while still being able to contest and rotate to contest shots. And he might have to get a little bit of more weight if he wants to bang in the paint. But as far as being an offensive and defensive player, I don't think he really needs no more weight now. But he's very smart and very witty. He plays with, high IQ, being able to post up and have his counters. They always say it take big man long to develop. Most big men don't come out ready to play in the NBA. They don't come out ready to score, or they don't have all the post moves. They always said that big man takes a little bit of time to develop. And Jakob Poeltl, this is his second year. He hasn't really been getting as many minutes, but in those minutes, he has valued them and appreciated them because they drafted him high. They drafted also Bruno, and he was a bust. They actually got a quality player in Jakob Poeltl that can do multiple things on the court while still being able to create his own shot. And they've been bringing him off the bench, giving him 18 minutes, and he has been solid in those minutes. But it also make you wonder, what happened if Jakob Poeltl had the opportunity to start? What happened if he got more minutes? And that's the sad part about it, because the Toronto Raptors are going to be in the situations where they paid DeMar, they paid Lowry, who going to come back off the books in the future, not too long from now. You paid DeRozan over $100 million. You paid Jonas, and then you start wondering, like, how are we gonna play OG? What happens if OG becomes better than a spot up three and a good defender? And a 3 and D guy basically, and he adds to his game. You got to pay him. Jakob Poeltl, we like Jonas. He's been a part of our puzzle, a part of our team, but we want to keep Jakob too. And he can be a restricted free agent, but that don't mean they can agree to a deal. Remember, Greg Monroe opted in, and Jimmy Butler opted in, and then they got paid by the Bucks, by the Bulls, because they wanted to prove themselves that they was worth more money and they was more valuable than what the team had thought. And they trusted their soul, they trusted their work habit, they trusted their work ethic, and they knew that they can be better than what the team projected. Obviously, the team wanted to keep them around and they wanted to pay them the money. They just couldn't come up to a fair deal for both sides. So Greg Monroe took the $5 million and left. Jimmy Butler was able to prove himself, become an all-star, and he was able to get the contract that he want. Now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm a broken record, because I made a video about Dario Saric, Mario Hazonia, but no matter what you guys think, people want to make as much money as they can in the NBA. People run one and done, going overseas, going to the G League. People are trying to make money. When you go to college, you're going to college to make money by getting a job so you can make money. When you get grown, you try to find a job, try to go to school to make money. Being grown is all about working and finding a way to support yourself and your family, or even just, you're more responsible and more bills and the things you won't cost, so you need money. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's going to come a time where they're going to either have to pay him or another team going to pay him. And he's showing the potential of a star. He's showing the potential of how great he can be. And he's only getting 18 minutes. If I'm Jakob, I want to get more minutes. I want to get more playing time. I want to prove that I'm a starter in this league. I want to prove that I'm better than Jonas Valanciunas. Is it right? To a certain extent, because you do have respect for Jonas, and you do want to play hard, and you do want to take your time because you don't want to rush into anything. But at the same time, you have to think about it like that. Jonas Valanciunas can only do so much. They're already cutting into his minutes already, and it's going to be a time where they're going to either have to repay Jonas some more cash because his contract almost up, or they're going to have to go with somebody younger, to go with DeMar DeRozan, who still is young, but he's going to the end of his career now. He's not the 21, 23-year-old phenom that he started to become earlier in his career. He's starting to get more dominant, more better, and more smarter as the season has been going on. And for the last couple of seasons, he's been hitting his peak of his powers. And Jakob gonna be a guy that's gonna want to say, hey, if I leave Toronto, I can get 25 to 35 to 40 minutes a game, and I might become an all-star. If he goes to the East, he has a case, the way he's been playing, that he can probably become one of the best players in that conference. Remember when Paul Millsap, people thought he was a solid player, but he thought he can be an all-star caliber player, so he went to Atlanta to prove that he can help a team win, and he been an all-star every year in the East, and it did good for his brand because he became an all-star and an all-NBA player for multiple years. He was an all-star from every single year he was in Atlanta, and he helped them make the playoffs every single year and he was in Atlanta. Same with Joe Johnson. He got 20,000 points, but he was an all-star every year in Atlanta. And like I said, it do matter when you feel like you can be that guy, and you never know. So you want to take the opportunity when it comes because you want to prove yourself. You want to earn a lot of money, and you do want to play hard and get the accolades that come with being a starter and being a guy that produces in a lot of minutes. I thought Yaka would eventually become a sixth man for the Raptors. I think that's the next step for him, is becoming a bigger intricate part of the Toronto Raptors team. And he might, he went from getting a solid minutes his rookie year to getting 18.5, basically 20 minutes a game. And then, he been playing well. And now it's time for him to take that next step as being one of the best six mans on the team. And if he can do that, expectations is only going to be higher for him, because if he starts to produce kind of like Harden and Lou Williams, it's either you're going to have to pay the man or you're going to have to let him go. Because if people see that type of talent and they see what you can do and they see that potential, they can't help but throw money at you, especially if you're a center that's as big as Jakob is. And at 7 feet, he's a legitimate 7-footer, and he's a solid rim protector. So you look at it like that. Wow, I don't think he's going to stay in Toronto unless they give him the spot. Obviously, he still has the age of 22, and next season he'll be 23, and it'll be time to start negotiating a contract extension. Based off the numbers, Jakob will never get the amount of money that he deserves because he's not getting the minutes and his numbers are not showing his impact. Even though we watch the games and know how good he is and how important he is to that bench, you know, you always want the better for your life. You never want to settle as much. You always want to keep pushing forward. You want to make as much money as possible, and you want to continue to see what is it greener on the other side. And I thought him going to Toronto was good in the beginning because it allowed him to develop. It allowed him not to rush his growth, rush his abilities. It allowed him to be young, learn from Jonas, learn from Serge, learn from Dwayne Casey and the All-Stars, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. And he's playing with stars like Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan that makes his job a lot easier because they take attention from him, because they can create their own shot and handle the ball, and they can collapse the defense and draw double teams, which means he can get a lot of putbacks and a lot of dunks and a lot of drop-offs and alley-oops because he playing with other star players, what makes the role player job easier. But he can do that for every other team because there's a lot of teams now that's having multiple stars and multiple all stars. Like I said, we done went a year and a half almost where Blake Griffin got traded, Jimmy Butler got traded, Paul Millsap left, Kyrie Irving left, Paul George have left, and Paul Millsap went to Denver. And all these stars are joining up with other stars to the point where I try to tell you guys the NBA is so deep where Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, for example, get traded, and it's still so much talent that they still, Chris Paul back in the day, if he would have got traded to Houston years ago, they might be the best team in the whole NBA. And now we're still saying that the Warriors can beat them. The Spurs are a dark horse. It shows you how much talent the NBA has, and you have to have the opportunity to prove yourself so you can get a good payday and get the awards and the accolades, as well as doing what benefits you. And we have been seeing a lot of stars take their own make their future their destiny. I want to control where I'm at. I want to control who I play with. I want to ask for a trade to go to a team I want to play for, like Kyrie. I want to prove myself. I want to prove I can do this. And, that's the sad part about the NBA. You draft these young players, and if you don't have enough money to pay them the money, if you don't have enough roster spots, if you don't have, you know, the negotiation with them in the summer or contract extensions. We done seen it with Randall. We done seen it with Parker, where they shown that they can play. They shown that they can, play at this level and even potentially be a starter. And you still can't come up to a contract negotiation because the player think that they're worth more. They should be getting more, and you can either let them go and replace them, or like Jonas, for example, or you can just give them the money they deserve and take a gamble. Remember, Andrew Wiggins got paid a lot of money, and he hasn't really been living up to it this year, even though his contract goes in next year. But Andrew Wiggins is a guy that people have been criticizing now because he got paid his money. But Joel Embiid is putting up numbers, and his team is going to the playoffs, and he's carrying them as the best player. And you got a guy like Andrew Wiggins that just don't seem like he fits, just don't seem like he wants to be there. And they already paid him $100 million, and they got to still pay Karl Anthony Towns. They got to re-up on Jimmy Butler if they want to keep him. So is no perfect scenario. Is no win-win. Sometimes you got to sacrifice. Sometimes you got to take a pay cut. Sometimes you got to accept your role, and it depends on the player in a situation that makes it difficult. Let me know what you guys think about jakob. Should he be a starter? Should he stay on the bench? Can he move up to the sixth man, or do you think he's going to leave Toronto? Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, the comment section below. Quinn Way Basketball Analysis. I'm done.